They breached their guidelines. Guess how many times they breached their guidelines?
I think it was 1,500.
1,500 times they breached their guidelines in the coverage of the, in terms of bias against Israel and pro-Hamas. 27%. There's a channel called BBC Arabic channel, I believe.
No. Okay.
27% of the people they interviewed on the BBC Arabic channel were either connected to racist terrorist groups like Hamas or had promoted anti-Semitic material.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just shocking, isn't it?
It expected, absolutely.
1,500 times they breached their guidelines.
I didn't think it'd be that many until I read it myself. First question that popped into my mind is, can you imagine the outlaw if that was GB News?
Oh God, yes. They'd be off to the air.
They'd be off. They'd be gone.
Yeah, yeah.
1,500
Yeah.
breaking their own rules.
Yeah.
They'd be off air.
Yeah.
I don't know how the BBC get away with. Well, the BBC now is a propaganda arm for the elite. They have been for decades. The BBC do what the BBC do, and the elite like what they do because the BBC is full of the elite. Politicians select who runs the BBC, so everybody's playing the game of trying to keep the government, whoever the government is, but the elite, the establishment, happy. And these are all the opinions of the establishment. I don't know why the BBC can't just be objective. I mean, this is a foreign problem, so who cares to a certain extent? Just say the facts. We don't need opinion pieces on who's right, who's wrong. Just facts. And also with the BBC, why have we still got an Arabic arm? Why have we still got a world service? Why are we funding all these things? Because it's all online now. We don't need the World Service anymore to be the voice of freedom across the world, because even in this country we don't believe the BBC. So why are we funding the BBC to lie to people around the world? BBC's too big, has too much money, and has too many tentacles in too many places. It needs to be slashed to the bone.
Yeah, I mean, if I was put into power tomorrow, the first thing I'd do is close the BBC. I know you've always been against that. You've always said they need to be phased over time. I'd just close the doors. I'd just say, you're all fired. And by the way, I'm changing the employment laws so public sector employees can be sacked with no compensation. Yeah? So everybody who works at the BBC, I don't care how long you've worked there, you'll get no redundancy pay. You're out of a job. And that's part of your punishment for perpetuating crap and stealing from the taxpayer for the past 20 years. Because anybody who's been there at the BBC for 30, 40 years has been complicit in feeding us the crap, in taking our money, our pension money as well, without complaining, and must have seen things and condoned things that are unacceptable to the. So therefore, you're all sacked. No compensation for anybody. Go and find yourself a proper job, and I'm closing the BBC. I don't think anybody would miss it.
I think lots of people would miss it.
Just the pensioners, and there's going to be hardly any of those left soon.
Steinman's making. Maybe that's what he's doing to get rid of the BBC. The BBC is not fit for purpose. It hasn't been for a long time. The only solution to the BBC is they need to generate their own income, which is advertisement. And to do that, they're going to have to slash. I don't know why the BBC have radio stations. We have enough radio stations in this country. They're all competing against each other commercially, and the big one has no commercial worries, so keeps them all small. If you got rid of the BBC radio, all local radio stations would take off, because suddenly they'll get a bigger share of the market. All the World Service, all that stuff needs to go. And I don't understand why we can't have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 TV channels, BBC, subscriber based.
Yeah. But also, I mean, what's left in the BBC? Hugh Edwards has been convicted yesterday of being a pedo, and he's on his way. And this is the guy who presented the news for how many years? 20 years. So now they can't show any news clips with him in, can they?
No.
So there's a whole load of stuff that they're not going to be able to show anymore now, including the Queen's. Did you do the Queen's burial? Did you do? So we can't even now show clips of the Queen's burial, God bless her, because that bastard was talking over it while he was hanging his arse out of his trousers.
They can cut the voices out and stuff. But I get
but
I get your point. Yeah,
or they're going to have to get somebody to redub it over the top of it, basically.
Well, same with Jimmy Savile.
Yeah,
there's lots of people like that who the BBC have protected
Yeah. Well, apparently there's some new names coming out now of people they've protected. And as we said the other day, all they've done so far is sack Jermaine Janus, who hadn't really done anything wrong, basically.
Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers. I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.